Hello, Vijay. Good evening.
ಹಲೋ. ಹಾಂ ಇವರು.
Hello, everyone. So let's wait for a few more minutes to let others join the meeting, and then we can start the session. Yeah, I think we are good to start. We have waited for 5 minutes, right? So I think it's good. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How are you all today? It's Friday. So I hope everyone has gone through the assessment, and I did received a good response in my DMs with the messages, and most of them, I think all the DMs I got from the students here, they did like awesome. Everyone are to the point, and everyone has given me the correct response. And I want the same response every time. So whenever I have scheduled any assessment in the chat, yes. So let's have a quick recap for the yesterday's session. So yesterday, what we have done is we have discussed about variables. We have discussed about int, float, boolean, and the typecasting of the data types. And later we have also went through the operators, like what are the operators we have in the Python, how to use it, and what kind of output we get by using the operators and all, right? So today we are going to have a step ahead in the Python, and whatever the things we are going to discuss today are like the core. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once it is visible to you so I can discuss about the topics for the today. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
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 Okay, yeah, great. So today we are going to discuss about the conditional statements we have in the Python, like if else, and elif. And what are the loops we have? So usually we have two loops in Python. One is for and while loop. And we will also check whether how to use break and continue conditions inside our loops today. After completion of the conditions and the loops, we will check we will go through the remaining data types, what we have, the advanced data types like list, tuple, range, dictionary, and sets. And what are the manipulation functions we have for those data types and how we will be using it. Everything we will be discussing in the forward sessions. Sorry, in the today's session. And then if the time permits, we'll also go through the string operations. Okay. So all these core concepts are the heart of the Python, and we need it in our playwright as well. And for the interview standpoint also, everyone will concentrate on these things. Like how do you handle the list? How do you handle the loops? How do you handle the conditional statements? And majorly the string operations. Those are the evergreen topics in the interviews as well. Okay. Now, I have a question from the Vijay asking web automation testing, API testing also covered with Playwright. We are along with these two, we are also covering database and the mobile emulations as well. Okay. So now coming to the conditional statements, I'll start opening the IDE. Has everyone has the IDE Visual Studio Code installed in their system? Any one of you are facing issues with the installation purpose or any errors you are seeing while installing or when trying to use the Visual Code with Python? Yes, I take that as a no. Now, so coming to our first topic, which is nothing but our conditional statements. Yes. So here in the conditional statements are nothing but we are asking the Python program to do something based on the result we are getting it from our actions. So basically we are asking if it is a true, then do something. If it is a false, then do something. Okay. So usually what do we do? Let's say A equals to I'm just typing as a Python automation. Okay. And I want to print A. So what do? We just directly assign the value into our variable and then print it, correct? So, but it is not always this straightforward in the real time. What we have to do, um, I'll take a basic example with regards to the age, okay? So let's say a student age is a person age equals to 18. And if the person age is greater than 18. So here what I am doing, I'm using a if condition. So if, so this is the syntax. So what is the syntax of if is if condition and and a colon. So colon represents open close braces in Python. Okay. In Java, we generally use open and close braces, right? So in the Python, we never use open close braces. We will be using instead a colon. So colon is nothing but opening. And since we don't have a closing brace here, then how will the Python know till where the if condition goes? Till where the values inside the if goes is, but we have to make sure the indentation. Indentation is nothing but, see, I have already given the colon and when I click on enter, it did not go to I, to the start of the line. It went till C. That is the automatic indentation which Visual Code provides us, and we can directly start typing here. But if you missed this one and you went till the starting point, then make sure you give the 4 spaces. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is called as indentation. Indentation is nothing but the syntax, the spacing which we need to give for the Python to identify the conditions, the statements inside the if condition, inside the if block. Okay, so here I want to print something and we will just give the conditions. Okay, conditions and how to end this condition. And this is my condition 1. If I just click on enter, again the indentation starts near after the 4 spaces, my line, and again the condition 2. Here, do you have any questions? Do you want me to repeat anywhere? And again, condition 3. Here, if you observe, it is also showing that I near after the I, a line is getting extended. So here visually also we can understand, yes, the if condition is getting started here and my statements inside the if block starts near the line 6. And if I do this condition, so here what happens? See, I broke my block here. Breaking is nothing but we have to just exit those spaces and start the statement from the beginning. So that's how it understands, okay, my if block has stopped at the line 9. And if I want to continue the if block, then I just have to do a tab space or 4 spaces. See, it's still extended for the 9. I don't want to extend. I want my statement to get completed, block to get completed. So no spaces. So spaces are very important in Playwright. If you, sorry, in Python, if you did not give it, if will never get executed. Understood? Any other questions? Yes, I'll take that as a no. And now I'll walk you through the real-time example. So where we use if block and why. So if my condition here is I am checking the age is greater than 18 or not. Colon as per the syntax and clicking on enter so that it starts near the P. Here, if the person age is greater than 18, then print saying that the person is major. Okay. Now, I want to break this if block. I just want print to be available in my if block and now I want to break it. So what I'll do, I'll just remove my space and later I'm just checking if the value is not 18, then it has to go somewhere, right? So just give else. Else also the same format. After else, you have to give the colon so that the block of the else gets started. Click on enter. So it starts after the 4 spaces or a tab space. And here I'm printing no, the person is not major. And let me print it. So now it is 18. So the value which I have given is 18, correct? So according to me, what I have to, so what does a Python do whenever I try to trigger the execution? So first it grabs the value of person age and it goes to the if block and check the person is greater than 18. No, because the value is still 18. If I have put greater than or equals to operator here, then this condition would have get satisfied. But I have just put the value as greater than. It is not greater, so this should not get executed and it has to go to the else block. And inside the else block, whatever I have given, no, the person is not major, correct? So that value needs to get printed in my console, in my terminal. So I'm triggering the execution. See, as expected, no, the person is not major. The else block got triggered. So let's say I missed giving the spaces and saved it. And now I triggered the run. See, shown me that expected an indentation after else. Okay, so indentation is nothing but the space. The error also says the same thing. So if I give an empty block, no, it is expecting something to be available inside my else. Else should never be blank. That is what it is expecting. Any doubt on if else?
No, here by default, after clicking after a
Mm,
colon, it will go to
yes.
the particular position itself, right? No
Yes.
need to press the tab or the
Not
spaces.
required. I'm just explaining you because in future, if somewhere the visual code is not working proper and by mistake, if you went to the initial step of the line, so just give a tab space. It should be good. Or else give 4 spaces. Okay. So now, so let's say I don't have an if. And what happens? Let me clear. Nothing. As we already know, if can be independent without the else, but else will never be independent without the if and else. So this is another interview question. Can we have an if block without the else block? Yes, we can have it. Can we have an else block without the if block? We cannot have it. It will throw an error. So I'll show you the error also. And I'm just commenting out. For commenting, I'm using control and backslash. Save it. For saving, I'm using control S and trigger the run. See, it thrown me invalid syntax error. Okay. So now, can we have an other if block here? Yes, we can have it. How? By using elif. So elif nothing but the similar way. Since we are using elif is nothing but else if. So first, the automation goes to the first if block and checks the condition. If condition doesn't satisfy, I mean, if the conditions is giving you false as an output, then it doesn't go inside the block. It goes to the next block which is available. So now instead of else, I'm using elif. So elif also we have to give a condition for elif as well. So same I'm using person age. Now I'm using as 18. It's equals to. Okay. And again colon. Click on enter. It goes to the space where we have to start the block. Print inside elif. Okay. And then I have given else. And after elif also you have to make sure we have else. Again, okay. We don't need it. These both are independent, okay? So after elif, I have given else. So if elif condition also got failed, then it has to goes to the else ultimately, okay? So now just trigger the run and see what would be the output. It is saying me I'm inside the inside elif, okay? So this block got triggered. So let's say my value is 19. Okay, the person is major and my value is 9.
Nikita, one question.
Yeah,
So,
please.
what is the difference between that elif and else? Could you please
L
need to explain that? Yeah.
yeah, sure. Let's say you want here in my case, I want to have to trigger another set of code based on another condition. So let's say here for the issuing the voter ID, um, for a person above 18, I want to check whether he's a major or not. And for the person who is having the age of 18, I want to keep him in some list. Okay, if certain people, if they are in the 18 zone, I want to put them in certain list. And after if they are not above 18, if I want to just show them that they are minor. So let's think it in this way. Like after the if condition, if you still have another condition to get executed on the remaining lines, we use an else if and other set of two conditions. Okay.
Okay, so you mean to say that it's a multiple condition. So, if I understood
Condition
correctly,
after condition.
yes. So, if
You
I
mean to
understood correctly,
say it's like a nested if condition, right?
No, it's nested if is again if inside if, right? So if you see, nested if is nothing but
If else
again if you
statement.
put
Yeah.
so in order to go to this block, you have to satisfy the first if condition. If it doesn't satisfy, you can't go to this one. But else if is nothing but if the first condition is not satisfied, then it has to check the other condition. Okay, let's say you have three outputs. One output will get triggered based on one condition, and you can have multiple elif. Again, here as well, you can have another elif. Okay, so if you have multiple conditions to check, so first I'm checking one condition, and if this doesn't satisfy, then I have to check the same value with another condition. And if this doesn't satisfy, then I have to check with another condition. And after everything, after none of the conditions get satisfied, then I'll just print that none of the conditions are getting satisfied. Like that.
Okay,
so sorry
and
to interruption.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Somebody's asking. Go ahead. I'll ask later.
yeah, thank you. So,
Yeah.
like we can have multiple elif statement, and
Yes,
so is it possible to have multiple if statement? I'm not talking about the nested if loop, but like instead of elif, what if I write two if conditions? So will it
let
give
me
a
show
syntax
you
error or
directly.
okay?
We can directly see it, right? So
Yeah.
here we have an inside if. Okay. It has given me an error. So sorry, this one. Even that is working fine. We can also have if.
Hmm.
And if
Okay.
is independent of else. So this will be considered as an unique one. So if you put an else if, it considered as a chain. Okay, if and if both are unique. You can also have that, but there will be a certain situations where you want to have a chain of conditions to get triggered, not like an independent conditions. So during those conditions, we will put if, elif, and else.
Yes. Okay.
So
Yes,
here
else
these
must be
two,
last.
if and if else, those are going to consider as a two different statements, are not in the single one, right?
Those are like single one. If else, and else. Those three are single one. If we have if, and else. So first if will be like a
One
separate
particular
one.
condition,
Yeah, condition, and if
separate
else is a
condition.
separate
These two are the
condition.
separate conditions.
Yes, correct.
But in the same script that we can use a number of if conditions,
We
depends on
can
the
we can
requirement.
have a number. Yes. And we should also use nested if sometimes.
Within the if, again we can use
We can
if
also
else
have
elif.
another if. Yes. So the nested if mostly looks like this. Do a tab
Yeah.
space and this, and again from here 4. Yeah, like this. And then you can have your else block.
And
Okay.
yeah, and like we can use multiple if statement. I guess it's even possible to use multiple else statement as well, right? In single if
But it should be
block.
like a block specific. If here we have an else, right? So then we can have if one if is available, then you can only have one else. Okay.
Okay.
So if you have one else, you can have n number of ifs. But
Okay.
else and if count should match. I mean, if you are going to use else n number of times, then that count should match with the if count.
No, but else is not dependent on if, right? We can have
No,
a
no, no,
code
no.
without else statement as well.
Yes, yes. So my
For
what I'm
every
trying
if,
to say
only
is
one else should be there, right?
available. Yes. So for
Okay.
every if, okay, I'll just summarize what I told. So for n, let's say we have 10 if, we can code allows to have a single else for 10 ifs. Okay. But if you have one if, code will not allow you to have 10 else conditions, else blocks. We should have only one block. The else is dependent on if, but if is independent of else. Okay.
Yes.
Great. So any other questions on if, else, and elif before we proceed forward to the for loop?
So Nikita, if I understood correctly,
Mm-hmm.
what my understanding is that if I mean any condition in the condition statement will start with the if, okay, and if you have multiple statements inside the if or after the if, so we should use the else if. I mean, how many else if we want, we can use that
We
one.
can use it, but
But
it is mostly depend on the conditions. We can also
conditions.
directly use if, yeah,
Yeah. So at the end, if nothing is matching
working.
whatever the
Mm.
working, then it will go to the else part, which is in the
Yes,
eighth line.
yes, perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. So now I'll go towards the loops. So before that, I'll just go through the slides. We have it over here. So here we are saying that conditional statements allow your program to make decisions based on the conditions. So rewrite with Python. Yes. So type of the conditional statements we have if runs only when the condition is true. Elif checks next condition if the previous ones are false, and else runs when all the previous conditions are false. So we are clear with this slide, right? So now I'll go to the next one. syntax, and next the loops. So here we have two types of loops. One we have for loop and the other we have as a while loop. Okay. So what is for and when do we use for loop and when do we use for while loop is very important. Okay. So let me explain that with an example. Okay. So here for loop. So majorly we use for loop when we know how many. Why do we use a loop? I'll explain you. I'll start with that. Let's say we have a string, Python automation, something like this. Okay, and you want to print each and every character in the string. And Python automation, and I want to print each and every character in the string. Okay, so what do I do in general? I'll just put print. And in the strings, we have a simple concept called indexes. We just provide our variable name and open close square braces and put the index as 0. 0 is nothing but yes. So here P will be the 0th index in the memory when you have given the Python automation. When the Python is accepting this value which you have given, it it collects that in the form of an order collection. Okay. So how the order starts from 0. The first character which you are inserting will be 0 and the second character will be 1 and the third character will be of index 2 and fourth character will be of index 3 and so on till the end. It creates an index for each and every character we have it in the A. Even the space will be considered as character. Okay, is it clear? The index is part of the string. Yeah, so let me show you. Let me here print A of 0. How do we print P? I want to print P which is in the first position. First position is nothing but index 0. So I'm just using A of 0 to print the first position. So Python demo.py. See here, I got P as my output. So similarly, I want to print the last character, which is N. I can use -1. So when you are starting from the first character, our values will be 0, 1, 2, 3 as the index. So when you are starting from the last, then the characters will start from -1. Indexes will start from -1. -2 will be 0 will be stored in -2 and I will be stored in -3, like that. That's how we access the memory locations which the Python has allocated for the characters which I have inserted in my variable. Here, any question?
You mean from right to left, it will count it as minus?
Yes, from -1, -2, it starts from minus from the right to
Okay.
left, and from left to right, it will be 0 till the number of elements we have in it, characters we have in it.
Okay, so first when it is starting from left to right, it will start the index from 0.
0.
But whereas from right side, it is from -1.
Perfect. That's the correct one. Okay. So now I want to print all the characters one after the other. So how will I do using the indexes? I'll just use print A of 0 and then again I will use print A of 1. Similarly, if how many indexes we have, I'll just print it like this, correct? Yeah. So, but let's say if here we have totally, before we do that, I can also show you how many characters we have in the string also. We can directly print the characters by using len. Len is a keyword to get the count of characters we have it in a string and give the variable name. So here it has given me the output as 17. 17 is the number of characters we have in A. So in order to print each and every characters, then I'll have to provide print statement 17 times. So here, whenever I know how many times I need to trigger uh, a single statement, a set of statements. If I have to trigger the 17 times, instead of writing 17 lines, I will write a looping condition. So for that, we can directly use for loop. Like, you know how many times your loop needs to get triggered. So when you know the definite time of the times a loop needs to get triggered, then those time you have to use the for condition for that. For that. So I'll show you how to do it. So for I in A colon. Since we don't have open close braces, we have to use colon. I'll just use print A, print I. So let's see what it does. Okay. I'll just comment this out and clear the statement. If you see here, it printed all. So what happened internally? I'll explain you. So when I used a for, then Python will know, okay, now the user wants to do the loop. Looping is nothing but repeatedly doing the same set of lines, repeatedly doing the same condition till the iteration stops. So here I is nothing but my variable. I in A is nothing but my variable, A, Python automation. So it grabs A of I. Okay, so this is what it is doing. A of I, A of 0 is I. The first character will be stored inside the I. Okay, and the second character also stores inside the I. So automatically the range gets, the movement gets happen in the Python. So when you trigger this loop once, the first one will get triggered, first Python, first P will get triggered, and next A of 1 and next A of 2. So likewise it happens, the increment happens. So usually in Java, what do? We use for int I equals to 0, I less than length of the variable, and we will do I plus plus, right? So all these things we have wrapped it in a single statement here for I in A. Okay?
So here it is going to perform the auto increment
Auto
instead of
increments,
providing value.
yes. Yeah. Auto increments will get performed, and the first character will be considered as since we don't have to declare anything here for the variables, for the newly created variables, it directly declares the first character as its value, and the printing starts. Okay, any questions on this? Or if you want me to repeat, you can also post that in the chat. I'll repeat it. Oh, Milind is saying that I'm not audible. So am I audible to you guys?
Yes, Nitya, for me, it's clear.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So hi Milind, can you try to rejoin? I think you have some audio issue from your end. Can you try to rejoin? Okay. So after the for loop, and here in the for loop itself, we can also do if inside the for loop. So yeah. Um inside for if as I told you earlier, inside the I, P will be stored during the first iteration, and again in the second iteration, inside the I, the Y will be stored. Okay. So now I'm validating if my I is equals to the repeated value here is O, right? So if it is O, then I'm asking it to break. Break means the loop will not proceed till the end. As soon as the I becomes 0 and I becomes O, it breaks the loop. So let me show you that also. Okay, something happened. Oh, I did not save it. Sorry. Control S. P. Only P, Y, T, H. As soon as the code hit 0, O, when the I became O, I asked the automation to break it. Means to stop completely from the for and come out of it. Don't do the next steps, whatever it is available in the for loop. That's the so that is called as conditional statements, and that is break. Okay. Any questions on break? No. So now I'll go to continue. We do have an other facility called as continue. So when do we use continue? Continue is nothing but we saw break. It abruptly stops everything and comes out of for loop. So let's say I don't want to completely come out of for loop. I just want to stop that iteration. So here, whenever I comes, I have given the continue. So temporarily for that iteration, so what happens? First, it comes to P and it checks whether the condition passes or not. It did not pass. So it just print the P. And again, it goes to Y and T and H. And when it comes to O, it goes to the if condition, it satisfies. So then it goes to the continue. So it will not go to the next lines, whichever is available in the for loop. And then without going to the next lines, what it goes to the for loop again for initialization and gets a value of n. It just skips one iteration. Okay. See. O will not get printed, and since we have O here and here and here, so all the three, wherever we have the O's, it will not get printed because I have asked to skip the rest of the lines wherever you saw O. So that's the difference between break and a continue, and it is also an interview related question. So any questions on these two parts and for loop before we go to the while? I take that as a no. And do you, if even if you want me to repeat, you can chat the same thing over in the chat box saying that repeat. I'll repeat it because these are the important concepts for the automation also. Okay. So now I'll take that as a no and we'll continue towards the while. Before that, I'll just share you the presentation we have. So controlling statement, we saw about the break and continue. Okay, please repeat. Okay, we have a chat asking to repeat the continue part, definitely. So what the continue does, you understood about break, right? So break means whenever the condition met, it completely comes out of the for loop. It doesn't go to the remaining statements we have in it. So what does continue do is like, it just skips that particular line. So whenever the condition met, so here I asked if the I equals to O, then skip all the lines which is available in the for and again start your process. Go towards after O, go towards the end. Okay, it is not stopping the entire for loop, it's just stopping one particular iteration. That's it. And everything else will again continue doing in its own rhythm. So that's and the continue name itself suggests the same thing. I hope it is clear this time. Okay, thank you.
One question, Nikita. So here we are giving O in, lowercase, right? Is that really matters?
It
Lower or
matters a
uppercase?
lot. Yeah. Python is case sensitive. So I'll also show you if we have given the capital O. So it will not consider it. Here. And now see. We can see O in our output. Python is case sensitive. So if here you have given as a small O, smaller case, you have to give a smaller case as well only. Yes. So now coming to the while loops. So while and for almost it looks like a same, but it has a different intention on when to use it. Okay, so let's say for the FUD we already know like when to start. So here A contains the list of characters. Here it starts from P and it ends from N. But let's say there are certain conditions where you don't know where to start. You only have a condition like when to stop. So during those areas you have to use while. I'll show you an example. Let's say the previous example only. A equals to, I'll give it as 6 and I want to use while. So when while A greater than 6, while A greater than 6, it means until and unless this condition fails, this while loop keep on executing the code whichever we have under it. So I want to print A and we have to, since I'll start it from 0 itself, okay? A is 0 and I'm checking A is greater than 6 or not. First, Python understands that the A value is 0 and it goes to the while block. And whether 0 is greater than 6, no, it is false. 0 is greater than 6, false. So it doesn't go inside it. So let me print it and show you how it works. See, nothing happens because condition is already false. Now, let me give the condition as here 10 and I will give this as 2 and print it. What happens now? A is, sorry, greater than 2. So it is true. So once it is true, it enters inside the loop trigger. So what happens? It keeps on going. There is never end for this loop. So here, when you are dealing with the while, if you see, it keeps on printing the value inside the console. And this is a major mistake a playwright, our automation testers does even during the automation coding. So whenever a while is there, you have to be very careful to make sure there is a condition to make it false. Okay, I'll close this one. In order to close the execution, you have to do Control C. Okay, I'll just clear it. So how the condition gets failed? So currently A is greater than 2. So I'll just give an increment. A plus equals to 2. I'm just incrementing it by 2. A equals to A plus 2. Okay, so now let's see what it happens. Okay, sorry. A is greater than 2. It is always greater than 2. So
Hi, sorry. Hi,
yeah,
sorry to
please.
interrupt. So just wanted to understand how did you stop the execution?
By using Control C. You have to
Controls.
click on the terminal here and click on
Okay.
Control C.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So here, can't we use in general, like in C and Java, how we use A plus plus? Can't we use A
We
plus plus
can't
in
use
Python?
it. No, that is not available. So I'll also show that A equals to 2 and A plus plus. It already given you an error mark here. So if we trigger it,
Yeah,
yeah, it is showing that invalid
invalid. So
syntax. So that's the reason why we have A plus equals to 1, or you can give the desired one.
and in the same way, we don't have a do while also. Only while is there, for and
Yes.
while loops.
Correct.
Hey, I just posted a general ask, which one is used in the industry, like Playwright with Python or Playwright with TypeScript, JavaScript. I just wanted to know which.
Yes. So, yeah, so we had the same discussion in our demo class actually. So here what happens, Playwright is a booming tool, okay? So Selenium with the Python, Selenium with the Python, there are like many automation projects we have. So all those, most of the automation projects now migrating towards a Playwright. So, and all, most of our future is going towards, it's tending towards AI ML, correct? So most of the companies are acquiring Python as their base language. So similarly, they want the entire project to work on a single code. So there will be more chances of having the Python to boom in the future than technically currently we have JavaScript in a higher number, but Python will be the future. I hope I answered.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, great. So here is another example of the while. So first we are initializing it. Without the initialization, we can't start the loop. So first I equals to 1 and then I less than or equals to 5. That's a condition. So 1 is less than 5, true. So it goes to the print and then it does the increment I equals to I plus 1 and the loop begins. And the loop keeps on continues and this is about the while and that is about the for. For is nothing but you should know how many times the start and also the end. It doesn't depend on the condition, but here it is a conditional loop. So that so the major difference between a for and while is for we should know how many times a loop needs to get iterated. Iterated is nothing but how many times a loop is getting executed. While is like till when we need to get the loop to get iterated. So that's the major difference between for and while, and it is also an interview question. But in general, when we are dealing with our playwright, we will mostly use for. While will also be useful, but mostly we'll be going towards for. Any
So in
questions?
general, in automation, in which condition that we are going to use while? So in generally, if we need to iterate the particular number of users to validate in that particular
That
condition,
will
we'll
go for
use
for.
a for loop.
Yes.
And while in which
So
case that we are going to use while?
Okay. So sometimes what happens, a page takes longer time to get executed, to get triggered. Okay. Just a simple one, straightforward, I'm explaining you. So even we can't ask the automation to wait for 40 seconds. Correct. Right. So
Yes.
sometimes until an API you receive it, while the visibility of API, wait. Inside that while I'll just say page dot wait for 5 seconds. So the while loop keeps on triggering until the API gets visible. Okay,
Okay.
makes sense?
Yeah, got it.
Mm. So we can see
Uh,
more
ha-
like these in the playwright also. Yeah.
yeah. So actually, we are having enhance for loop with us, right? So for the enhance for loop, we don't need to like start and end condition and all those things.
Mm.
To decide which for loop we need to use like enhance for loop or while for loop. So which one
So
need to
while
be like considered?
here for the for loop we did not had a condition till where we did not have a condition. Okay, see the same example I have told you earlier. When I want a particular API to get return some value, I
Hmm.
can't use a for loop because there for loop I have to mention it for 10 times. You wait, you trigger the loop. I can't I can't estimate that for 10 times if I wait for that API to appear. We can't give that, right? So during those
Hmm.
conditions, it is most like a condition type. So uh, until I get some value out of the API, you keep on doing this step. You keep on clicking it. Sometimes what happen, if we click on an element, the next page should get launched. We need to get to the next page, right? So what happens, sometimes the
Hmm.
click button gets stuck and you have to click it until you see you navigate to the next page. So here we don't know like how many times the clicks are needed in order to click that, in order to navigate to the next page. So what I do, while I'll give a condition saying I see the page to get opened and then I'll ask to click. So until and unless the condition gets false, it keeps on clicking the button. So for the for loop, I have to just ask it click for 10 minutes, for 10 times. Even after my 10 times, if the click doesn't happen, then it is a failed case. So I have to use a while loop to see until I get that page opened. Is it making sense? Did you get the point?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. So it's like infinite. When you don't know how many times to do an action, you know only the endpoint, when to stop. But you don't know how many times to do it, then while. You know how many times to do it also, then go with for.
Okay.
Yes. So even for the while also, you can use the break and continue. No, while is not required because already we are giving the condition near there, right? So yeah. Interview questions, we have it on for and while is what is the difference between for and while, and what is break, what is continue, what is infinite loop. As I told you, while got keep on printing the values because I haven't given the condition where the while gets failed. So that's the reason. So that is called as infinite loop. And what does range 5 return? So range is another data type. I'll explain you when going to the data types concept. So we have another question on the chat box. For example, if we post the transaction, we will wait for some time, sync time to generate the reports. In automation, we are using while loop for wait for certain amount of sync time. Yes, you can also consider that. Thank you, Sai Kumar. And now let's go to the data types. Before the data types, do you have any questions on loops or condition statements which we spoke about earlier? Okay, so I'll take that as a no and go to the next slide. So what are the data types we missed on the last class is? So you understood like data types, we have numeric data types, which are nothing but int, float, complex. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Actually, I'm not sure if we covered this in our loop session, but for loop is okay for me. But I sometimes feel it difficult to understand the nested for loops.
Oh.
If time permits, can we have at least one or two examples explaining the nested for loop, like how it works?
For the nested for loop, sure. If you want, we can have another other class on Monday regarding the nested for loops alone. So
Yes.
that today you take some time to understand the direct for loops, so that you'll get some understanding about the normal for loops, and it will be easy for you to understand the nested for loops on the Monday session. Will that
Yeah,
work?
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. So now I'll go towards the data types. One second, I'm just replying the chat. Yeah. So now, data types. So here, apart from the numeric data types, we also have collection. We have list, tuples, range, dictionaries, and set. So as we already understood, A equals to 2. We can declare A as 2 and we have B as, let's say, hello. So here what happening? We are declaring only single value at a time, right? So let's say I want to have 5 to 6 values I want to store at a time in a single variable. How can we do it? By either using list or by using tuples or by using dictionaries, we can store more than one value into our variables, okay? So which is nothing but open close braces. It is 2. The same values, we can store it in this way. So both 2 and hello now stores into the C. And 4, I can also give float. And here in In Python, we don't have any restriction saying that only certain data types needs to be get stored. We can store booleans, we can store int, we can also store string directly into our variables. So here I can also use true, which is our boolean. So now I'll just print C and see what we get as an output. See, all the values got printed in the output. Okay, so here, now I'll explain you what is a list. List is nothing but a collection of elements. Okay, and the collection doesn't have to be of same data types. It can be of any data types. It is mixed. And similarly, when I explained about the indexes in the string, here the same terminology happens with the list also. I'll show you an example here. If you see here, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 stored in the numbers. Numbers is my variable, right? So if index 0 means 10, when index 1 means 20. So as we discussed earlier, from left to right, it considers 0 till the end in the incremental format index. If we are getting the values from the right to left, then it starts from -1 to -6 because we have 6 elements in here. Any questions on the indexes of the list? And the list starts with the declaration and the syntax starts with open close braces. Okay, so I'll take that as a no. And the list are ordered collections. Ordered collections means whatever we are inserting first will be considered as a 0th index element. Whatever we are inserting in the second after the comma, it will be a second value. So it will be considered as a first index element. Likewise, the indexes gets incremented. And the second point about the list is it is mutable. Mutable means nothing but we can update the list whatever I have added here, and we can remove the list completely. We can edit it, and if you want to add few more items during your execution, even that is possible. And yeah, so we can do we can change the values of the list. So that is the meaning of mutation, mutable. And list can contain different data types. Yes, it can contains or it's a mixed data type. So now, so how do we use list in our normal projects? I'll explain you that. So let's say if you want to get print the value in the second index, we just use the variable name and 1. I want to print hello. As I told you, it starts from 0, right? So 0 is nothing but 2 and 1 is hello. And I just given 1 inside C, clear it, and now printing it. See, I got hello as my output. And similarly, if you want to update the value, so you understood it, right? How do we get the data out of the list? If you give a 2, then it gives the value in the second index, third position, which is nothing but second index. So likewise, we get the values out. So let's say you want to update the values. You no longer want 4 in my third index. So what I do? I'll just get the index of the value 4, which is in the second index, equals to, I want to update it to 8. I'll just give the value as 8. Okay. See, now I got the 8. What happens? So first playwright goes to the C and it reads the values which is available inside the loop, inside the collection, and then it updates the value. Here we are assigning 8 into 2. Technically what we are doing is it's just an assignment operator which we are using. We are just assigning 8th value into the index 2. So it goes in their memory, Python memory, it removes 4 and it gives 8 in it. Okay. So this is how the updates happen inside the list. And after the updates, if you want to remove the value, Okay. So if you want to remove the value at the last index, okay, if you want to remove the last index value, just use a pop. Pop means true. It is just giving me whether the action got happened or not. And then I'll just print C. See, the last index got removed. So let's say you don't want to remove the last index one, but you want to remove hello. Hello is the index at 1. Okay. So what it removed? Pop 1 is hello. So it is saying that I have removed hello because I have given a print here. And near the C, it has 2, 8, 5.6 and true. So this is how we remove the values from the list. And here after remove, okay. So now here we have inserted the value, right? So let's say there is an other way also to insert the values inside the list. So we just have to do C dot insert is the method which we need to use, and inside the insert where I am going to insert it. I am going to insert the value in the position 1, means after 2 before hello I want to insert some value. So here what we are doing, we are just replacing my second index with some other value. So let's say inside before hello I want to provide any other value. So the index is 1 and I want to give new value. So let's print the C and see what happens. We got new value also. So this is how we insert a value inside our list. Okay. Any doubts so far? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So let's say if you want to print the values from, if you want to print 2, hello and 8, it
Sorry,
means,
Tripura,
yeah.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So you have shown like how to remove and yeah, you have shown how to remove and add. Is there any chance how to update? Maybe in the position of 1, I
Yes, we do have that.
have new value now. Instead of new value, I want to add.
Hello. Sorry, your voice is a bit breaking for me.
Yes. Okay.
Can you repeat?
My question was, yes, my question was, instead of inserting, can we do the update?
Yes, we can do that as well. So, hello?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, can you hear me?
You can show how to
Yeah, so here,
update.
if you want to
Yes,
remove
I
the...
can
Okay,
hear you.
okay, sure. So here, in place of hello, only you want to update now directly to new value, correct? So we can directly use this assignment operator.
Correct.
So
Correct.
hello is nothing but our first index value. 0 index is 2, right? And first index is hello. So I'll put 1 inside my C of 1. So I'm grabbing the first index value of the C, and here I'm updating it to new value. Okay, and then let's print the C and see what happens. Okay, we have 2. We have in place of hello, it got replaced with new value, and we have 8, we have 5.6, and then true. These values are not touched, only hello.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions you have on these before we proceed forward to deleting entirely the list?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Sure. So let's say you want to add.
A
Yes.
quick question. So if I need to delete multiple index values, is it possible with the one condition?
We can do that. Hello? We can directly use
Hello.
delete.
No, here we're having 2 hello 8 5.6 true.
So
I
you just
want to
want to delete
8 5.6 within the single pop. Is it possible?
with a single pop. We can do it. I'll
Yes.
show you. But I think it has to work on a serial mode. So with the pop, I have just given one, right? So we can do a slicing. There's a concept called slicing. Slicing is nothing but I'll first explain the slicing and later I'll explain how to pop it. So here, if you want to print the values from uh, 0, 1, and 2, you just have to give 0, colon, and 3. 3 is nothing but 0, 1, 2 gets printed and 3 will get ignored. 0, 1, 2 and 3 will get ignored. This is inclusive and this is exclusive. Okay. And now I'll print the value before it. So this concept is called slicing. Yeah. So here it just printed me the value at 0, 1 and 2. So now if we do the same thing for pop, no, it is not possible. So pop will only have it as 1. So can we use clear here? No, only single index is possible so far. So either for the using the clear, it clears the entire list. Yeah. So none. It clears the entire list. So I can check back on that whether we can directly remove 2 to 3 elements at a time. But yeah. So pop has only a single argument value. We can only do a single values over there. Any questions before we proceed forward to appending it? So let's say if you want to add some values towards the end of the list. So in order to do that, we just have to give c dot append. Append means it is going towards the end. PEND. Value 1. You can either give integer, float, anything should be good. Yeah. So value got added at the end. In order to insert the values from the end, we have to give append. If you want to insert in between, use the keyword insert, function insert. And if you want to delete, okay. So from the append insert, do you have any other queries on it before we see the varieties of deleting operators we have? Okay, I'll take that as a no. I'll remove all this. And now we have to hello 8. So now I want to delete the entire value of C. So we can directly use del C. And then I'll print the values which we have now after deleting inside the C. C is not defined because it got completely removed out of the system. So instead of so one method to delete a variable is del, and instead of removing the entire value, I just want to remove the value at the 0th index. So let's see what happens. I'll just clear it so that you can clearly see the output. It removed the value at 0th index. Okay. And if I want to preserve the list, but inside the entire values need to get wiped off, then what I want to do is c dot clear. Okay. See, earlier when I did delete del.c, it throwed me an error saying that C is not available at all. But when I use the clear, it has still provided me an empty list because all the values inside it got completely removed. Okay. So that is the difference between the clear and delete. So this is also an interview question. Yes. And let's say I have an other loop and d equals, other list d equals to 4, 9. And I want to add these two. So what I can do is C plus D. I'll directly print it. If you want to add two list, two or more, then you can directly add it by using plus operator. Or you can assign it like this and also print E. Okay, the same result. So this is about joining two or more lists available. Okay, so let's say you want to so we have another function inside the list, which is sorting, which is also required for our automation. So here we have 4, 9, and before that I have 10, and we have 2. Okay, so this is unordered, right? So I want to do a sorting for D. Sorting is nothing but it arranges the value from the ascending order. Dot sort. Okay. Equals to D dot sort. And give the value as E. Still throwing E. E equals to 10, 4. Why it is not working? Print E and it is throwing me as none. Let me do no. So I'll check why the sort is not working on the integers here. So usually we just have to give sort in order to sort the values. So maybe it is working only for strings.
Yeah. If you don't mind, remove the D equals to. I just put it as D dot sort. Yeah, remove the D equals to.
Okay.
Yeah, put it as print D now.
Yes, yes. That's true. So we don't have to assign it. So this is about sort. If you want to have it in a descending order, you just have to use equals to true. I'll just clear it. Yeah. So it does a descending order too. Any questions on sorting? Any questions on deleting? Now let's go to the presentation and see what else we have missed here. So slicing, accessing element, we can do it using the indexes. And the slicing, we can do it by providing the indexes. The first one, so here if you see I have given print numbers 1 till 3. So which means we have to go from the index of first position, not from 0, from first till second. 3 gets excluded. So it means 1 and 2. And for adding element, we have to either use append or we can use insert. Here in the insert means we have to exactly show at what position we have to insert the value. So the argument should be should be a two arguments. One, you have to provide at what index, and second, what should be the value you want to get inserted. And the next, deleting of the values, which is remove. We can use remove for removing a value, and pop means the last value. Pop of 1 means the first index value. Okay. And delete of numbers and numbers.clear. I think all these concepts we have covered already. And sorting, reversing the list also we can do. We can directly put dot reverse. And yes, another important topic. So what did I miss? Length. In order to get the length of the length, earlier for the string also we can directly use length. So even for this list we can use the length as the same concept. Length of D. Okay. So that is how we get the count of elements we have inside our list. Okay. And copying a list we can do. Copy is nothing but, let's say if you want to create another copy of the same D, then use E equals to D dot copy. And print E. Here. Yeah. So same values will get copied. Okay. And the slicing and the list. I'll also share this PPT so that you can go through all the required methods and how to use it. Here are the most important in the interview questions about the list. So during the interviews, everyone concentrates most on the list, how to handle the list, and what's the difference between list and the tuples, and about the conditional statements we have out there, everything. Okay, please go through all the interview questions as soon as you get the PPT. Now I'll go towards the tuple. Okay. So I'll take just more 15 minutes before we wrap the session. I think we have already crossed our time, but we still have a couple of other slides left. So I'll explain you about the tuple in this session, and in the next session we can check about set, dictionary, and string. Okay, so what is a tuple? So as I explained earlier, the list, it is mutable, right? We can update it, we can delete it, we can insert it, any values you want, anything you can do it. But in the tuple, we cannot do anything. So if you want the values to be stuck as the way you have entered, then you have to use the tuple. And the syntax to create it by using open close braces like club. Okay. So when you are declaring a list, you have to use the square braces. When you are declaring the tuple, you have to use the small flower brackets. Okay. So this is how we do it. And this is immutable. And even you can have the duplicates here. So since we have already a 9, we can also have the 9. And it is also a mix of, we can have int, we can have float, we can have a string, anything. So this is also a mixture of a mixture of the different data types. We can have it, and we can have the duplicates also. Even in the list, it will allow the duplicates, and even this is ordered collection. So whatever the data you have inserted, it will have it in that manner only. Okay, the 10 will be a 0th index. This is the 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so now I'll print T and you can see the output. So it will be same like earlier. Okay. So since there is nothing to be done on this one, we have only two methods which we can use to work with the tuples. So one is like the length. Okay, 1 second. So yeah, accessing. So the common operators is like to access it, we can use index of 0. Okay, so this is the first index value. So these are the ways to access the elements inside it. And the slicing, similarly what we have done in the list, we can directly provide 0 till, if you want, till the third index, give the 3, so that 0, 1, 2 will get printed in the console. So 10, 4, 2 is the values at 0, 1, 2, second index. And then count. I'll explain you a concept of count here. So let's say in this tuple you have 2 nines available in it. Now I want to check how many nines I have in my tuple. Then you can directly use count function and give the value of which you want to count. Okay, so it has given me the value of 2. So let's say I have also added another 9. It has to get increased to 3. So is it giving me that? Yes, the 3 it is. Okay. So why would you list versus tuple? Where would you use? Okay. So list and tuple, when do we need to use it? As like there are some important conditions and you don't want that to get updated or removed or deleted. So during that critical conditions, we use tuples. So basically, tuple also is very cost efficient. I mean, it is very quick when compared to the list, and it grabs a very less space in your in the DB when we are dealing with the tuple. So when you want the execution be fast, and when there is no longer we need a particular collection to get updated. So during those areas, we will be using the tuples. Okay. So those are particularly like a constants. But again, there is another catch. If you want to update a tuple, how to do it? Well, even that we cannot update it. So what we have to do it, we have to convert a tuple into a list. So convert a tuple into the list, we have to use a keyword called list of. So just use list of t and assign that into another variable. So now E contains the D values, but now in the form of a list. Okay, so now you see the braces. So it is in the form of a list. And now if you want to do any updates, you can do it. And again, after updating, so let's say I want to add I want to append that with 10. I'll just do it. And later I'll convert that. After doing that, I'll convert that again into a tuple. So in order to do that, again use tuple as a tuple function and give the variable which you want to convert that as a tuple and where you want to store the tuple inside my D. So what I'm doing is I'm completely removing it and I'm completely adding this value. So this is the only way to manipulate the tuples, but we generally won't do these things. But if an interview, if then ask like, uh, how do we update a tuple? This is the only way we have to update it. We just have to remove the complete values out of it and reinsert the value. No updates or no appendings, nothing. Okay. And why should you use a tuple inside list? Because you don't want the data to change and the data is a fixed group of items. So few cases in a big projects, what happens, they will have a certain data like dates. We don't have the weeks, right? We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So those things we don't have want those things to get updated. So for these kind of collection, the data which no longer needs to get updated, we convert them into a tuple and we will store it. Why? Because the performance will be fast and the data will get preserved because no accidental modification happens. And yeah, So these are the major things why we use tuple instead of a list. Any questions on tuple? So we have a couple of interview questions also I have provided here in the presentation in the PPT. So you can also go through them once you get a chance. Okay, I'll also explain you about the range here. Range is nothing but it is also a list, but it doesn't store inside the DB, inside the memory. Range is nothing but, let's say here, it's a keyword, a range of 10. 10 means nothing but it starts from 0 till 10 consecutive numbers. Okay, so it is a collection of numbers. So here I have given a 10. So it starts from 0. I'll print the range. Wait. Print. Oh, I'll assign that to a variable. So what happens now if I just give A? It just shows me that it's a range starting from where to where. So it starts from 0 to 10. It shows in that way because in my memory, the values are not getting stored. It's just storing in the form that, okay, my user is going to use a range. So in that format, it is going to get stored. So if I want to retrieve the value at the 0th index, means very first one. So now it provides me the value of 0. So it starts from 0 till 10. And if I want to print my first index, so it should be 1 because my first value is 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my 10th index. Do we have a 10th index? If I have a range only till 10? No, because 10th index is out of my boundary. I just have till 0 to 9. 10 values means 0 to 9, right? So 10th will be out of my index range. And let's say I don't want the values to get incremented with 1. So what I would do, I'll start with 0 till 10 and I want to increment it as 2 with 2. Okay, so first one will be 0 and the second index value will be 2 and the third index value will be 4 and the third next index will be 6. So likewise, the first till the ninth index, the values get incrementally stored with 2. So if I get the value at 8, so what happens? Okay, 0 till 10, second value. So let me clear it. Okay, again. 4 because 0 and then 2 and then 4 till 10. Starting at value 0 till my number ends at 10. So my fourth index should be 8 and now fifth index 10 is excluded. So it doesn't get included in my range. Any questions on range keyword? We are showing the starting point, ending point and how to increment it. Okay, I'll take that as a no. And the next we have dictionaries. Yeah. So regarding the dictionaries and the next other
One
topic.
question,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. One question regarding to range. So like we have seen the example of increment. So same way decrement will work, but only we have to provide the negative indexes, right?
Negative index, yes.
Okay.
So it's basically the collection of the collection only about the numbers, okay? It's only the collection of the numbers and how to manipulate the number.
Okay.
So I'll take a pause here and we can look about the dictionaries and we have sets and the string functions on Monday. So far, any doubt you have in today's session, I'll also provide you the assessment for tomorrow and day after tomorrow also I'll provide you some assessments. So we can discuss about more in detail on Monday.
Yes. And just one question, like, where will you be sharing this PPT actually? Because I haven't got even yesterday's one.
Yeah, actually, I will be sharing this PPT to my admin team, so they will be responsible to share with you. So I'll check with them. So
Yeah, please.
you can directly drop the message in the group we have so that they'll reach out to you. So far they only
Okay.
provided to the one who have asked about the PPT.
Okay, fine. We'll do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, team. So if you still have some time, we can look into the dictionaries also. Else we can close the session today and we can look into Monday.
We'll continue on Monday, Tripura.
Okay, great, sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Happy weekend.
Happy
Thank
weekend.
you.
You too. Happy
Happy weekend.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Tripura.
Yeah, hi. Can
This
we
is Jaya.
okay, we can stay
Yeah.
on the call. We'll just
Oh,
wait till others leave.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hello, Prashila. Sorry, I missed your chat message. So what were you asking me? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. So there is one statement
Mm-hmm.
that is print.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 10 equals to 10. So what do you
And,
think the output will be?
actually, I didn't get that.
Okay, no worries at all. So basically, I'll share my screen so that you can understand it. Jaya, can you spare 2 minutes for this?
Yeah, sure. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we have a equals to 10. Okay. So what's the statement I have given? Print 10 equals to 10. Right? So
Correct.
if we print this one, what happens? We got a false. Why we got a false? Because the 10 is an integer here. So whatever values we have enclosed in the double quotations or single quotations, Python will consider that as a string. So basically we are comparing an integer with a string. So integer is not equal to string, right?
Okay.
So
So
that's the reason
basically,
why
yeah, this will compare the two.
types also.
Yes. Okay. Two
Type.
elements which we have provided that will be compared only.
Yeah. So here I'll for more details I'm just typing you the type also. So here we have type as okay. So the same values I have given, and you can understand the types we have. So the
Yeah,
first
it
one we
will
got it as in, and the second one
integer
as
and string.
So integer is never equals to string,
Yeah.
though the
Basically,
inside
that
value is same.
is equal to will compare the two values.
Two types also
Two
along with the
types. Yeah,
value.
yeah. Two types. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jaya, do you want to share your
Yeah,
screen?
sure. I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Give it a minute. It will just load. Yeah, I can see it now.
So it's
So I'll
still.
stop share. I'll stop recording. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. I